Good morning, good afternoon, good night, depend where you are. As you know, I call myself Afro-Caribbean Queen. I started my African journey about 20 years ago to find out a little more about the black race and not so much what I've been taught. I wanted to see up here from the motherland um, the history from that side, and not only the history, what they taught me. I wanted to know also in general a little more about the black race in general. So that reason I will be tackling things from the Afro Americans, I'll be tackling things from the Caribbean, and also the black people in Europe, mainly in UK, that comes from the Caribbean and of the mother's land, the continent of my forefathers. Um, you see what is happening. Um, this is going to go especially about Tariq Nasheed and Akati. I know some of my people from my island do not know who uh, these people are, so I will do a lay explaining. Akati is an American lady who went to Gambia to live, and she opened her YouTube channel. So she was talking about Gambia. And you see, everybody who's going to Africa now, everybody is going on YouTube and explaining their own side of how they experience it. Uh, some of them only project the good side, but some of them project the good, the bad, and the ugly. So when you want to go there, then you know what is awaiting you. So then you have all the points for you to consider. And Akati was one that project mainly the negative side. Or she project what she see on the ground. But I think in due time it went some kind of how. She project the poverty, she project she said the cockroaches and the rats and the deceit, and then she started talking about how they have to suck their men dick and how to keep their men in and out and all of that. So I think it became a kind of too much, and she was projecting mainly negative. So I think in due time, the people there, majority of the people there, especially the youths, went against her. I had an occasion that I understand they slapped her somewhere, and she ended up back in America. Uh, Certain things she was saying is correct, certain things was not correct. But it's the way she was bringing it across, and I think the way she was bringing it across was to really provoke. Yeah? Okay, that's Akati for you. Then you have Tariq Nasheed. I never hear from him before. I only hear about him, I think barely maybe a few weeks to a month ago. And then I start going on his site to check him out. And he's a Afro-American. They call himself now FBA. I think that is what they call himself now as a black group. And they try to connect with Indians someplace, but they mean to say there's the Black Americans, the Afro Americans, as you know, they call in the past. So that is the FBA. That is um, Tariq Nasheed. He is one. If you do not know, he's tackling the Caribbeans. He's mainly on the Caribbeans. He's mainly on the Africans. His main goal and his targets of his topics, let's put it, his topics goes mostly about the Caribbeans in America and the Africans in America. And how he see it. Certain points I understand. understand certain points, but uh, I think he also is taking it down some kind of route. Because when he started up his points, he got a lot of people behind him, but now he's out of control. Yeah. What is how everybody look at it, of how everybody see it. So I'm going to talk about those mainly two particular, he particular, how he's going about it. You see, we also have problems with the Africans. That is the motherland. But the problem that America have of how they see their problem is not the same way we see our own problem. You have to start by, so I'm going to talk about how the Caribbean see it, how we see the Africans, how we see the Americans, but mostly how we see the Africans, and how the Americans is seeing the Africans, and how the Africans is seeing themselves. So I'm going to warn you from now. This is going to be a little long, but it's worth listening to, and at least you know what is taking place among our own blacks. Yeah? I start with the Caribbean black. You see, most of the times in my days and age, I never see one full bloom. I say full bloom. Born on the continent African, I never saw them around us. And I traveled to different islands. I never saw them. You understand? I'm talking about the 70s and the 80s and the 60s. I never saw an African. I know stories about African. I know stories what we are being told, and I know how we watch them. You see, I come from the Caribbean. The problem from every one of these places of now say Caribbean, of UK, Caribbean, of American, of the continent, everybody have a way they was brainwashed of colonized or whatever by us. We was more based on colorism. We was based on colorism. This color is better than that color. That texture of hair is better than that texture of hair. That nose and that lip. So it was based more on colorism. Till up to today, it did not change. So we are our own. Nobody want to associate with Africans for different reasons. It's because we was told we were being sold, and then they always have us thinking Africa is, they're ugly, their hair is bad texture, they have big nose, they have thick lips, their behind is too extreme. Extreme. I put in the words of extreme, big, and they're always smelling. And they're walking with all kind of illnesses. That is what is projecting. Me as a child was brought up in that kind of mindset. It's like that Africans are. And they have telling you, you are more beautiful than them. You are smarter than them. That is what we are being told. So we always, and do not forget the sold. So that is already in our own minds. Without even meeting one, without even talking to one, you just have in a kind of mindset, avoid that one. They are no good. That is our mindset. And one thing I know with the colonizers, they like to copy paste. So what they teach us in the Caribbean, they will teach the same in America. So they will project the same in America. So they know how to try to keep us among ourselves, to keep distance. And for the Caribbean, they will teach you partly the Americans, they are criminals, they are killers. Um, they do not really crazy about us. That they will be teaching us about the Americans. But I'm sorry. But the difference is with that one, we see the Americans often on the island. And a lot of my own people went to America also to live or just to study or whatever. So we still have a little more bond with each other than the Africans we never saw. Okay, coming to Europe, then you encounter the Africans. And it was, especially in the country I live, I wasn't living in the UK where maybe you get more Africans. I was living in Holland. It's very, they had Africans, but most of them was just students. And we was keeping far away from them. Is because we had our own way how he was looking at things, and do not forget what already was pumped in our head and our own eyes. In our own eyes, then we find there wasn't looking refined that we was finding in our own eyes. Everybody judge or measure the way they wanted to measure. Then you had one or two start going wrong with them, and then the others will turn the back on that one, and it end up anyway for bad experience. Whoever dealt with them end up with bad experience. Okay. Then it years passed by. More of my people came to this part of the world. More Africans came here, and they start getting small involved with the Africans. So I see a big transition for do not even want to work, talk to them, do not even want to greet them, that really getting into relationship with them, because it was mostly with the whites, because the blacks, the few blacks that was around here, I wasn't really mingling with them. England is a different case, because in England the amount there was much more there. But you see what we come to understand, no say of is in Holland or it is in England or whatever part of Europe. We come to understand a lot of them was playing games. They was playing all kind of games, and the main target was document. They wanted document. And they also have their copy paste. They will pass it on to the other brothers who come. How to go about it, what to say, what not to say. You see, I try to bring this whole story over as fair and honest and how I see it as possible. We also have our mistakes, but you also have to acknowledge your own. You see, a lot of you among yourself know your brothers, mostly brothers, because our men wasn't dealing much with African women. That one is very seldom. I do not even know no case, tell you the truth, that you see African man is dealing with a Caribbean man is dealing with an African woman. I personally do not know no case like that. I come into understand small is happening in um in England. You understand? And I come to understand maybe in America is happening more. That you will find that our own Caribbean men will deal with African women. It's not common among our own group. But you know what we come to understand? After we come to realize these boys, how serious can you take them? You understand? Because after document, they was gone. 8 or 9 of them, no, 7, 8 of the 10, it was gone. After document, it was gone. They had these kids they left behind. Most of the time, they do not even turn around and look at these kids. I come to understand some of their parents back home, they not even know they get married here. They got their document and it was gone. That is experience that the Caribbean have with them here in Europe, and America also have the same experience. And you know what is sad? There are women them know about the game, and they will not warn you about those games. So we see them as playing along with them with their games. Then we get ourselves with the Somalian Eritreans and the Ethiopians. They came here mostly as refugees. We wasn't mingling with them, everybody in their own corner. But what I come to understand accidentally, which I did not even know, is by when I was giving birth to my last child. I was in the hospital together with this girl from Somalia, and we end up start talking. And she told me, She said from, I never see a man come and visit her or whatever. She told me she's pregnant for one of the people from my island, from our islands there in the Caribbean. And she said, but you have to understand, she's a Somalian that came here as refugees with her parents. So the system put her in foster care and things like that among their own whites and whatever. So she said, a Somalian spit in her face. I said, why did the Somalian spit in your face? She said they got to find out she's pregnant for one of the people and for the Caribbean. I say, yeah. So she said, no, it's not allowed though. She said, they told her she's going to make a monkey, the nose will be big, the lips will be thick. She's a disgrace to their race. I said, what race is that? She said, we are Arabs now. I told her, okay, my dear. Then I break my head about that. I mean, to say she go away with, and the group go away with their issues. So we never really mingle with them. We never break our head about them. We just see them there. And after all, I come to, and a friend of mine, a girlfriend of mine, I know for many years, she had a Somalian friend. So when I went to visit her, the friend was there, he was talking. Very jolly. Ah, this girl is very jolly. She's relaxed. You will laugh with her. You will have fun with her. But then I come to understand, in her own group, she's an outcast. So she mingle among us herself. So that is so far as I know about the Somalians. It's like we do not mingle with them, they do not mingle with us. We have no problem. Everybody stay in their own corners. I told you a little about the other one who married for documents. Most of the time there was Nigerian. So that is what we know about them. You say, what are them? I know older one from us told what they say, you see these Africans, they always want something. I said, what kind of nonsense are you talking? Why are you saying they always want something? She said, my daughter, she used to live in the States before she came here. She said, my daughter, they always want something. I said, yeah, but if they have their documents and all of that, what can they want? She said, wisdom. They will try to get you to give them wisdom how to go about the system. She said, but they always want something. I always keep that somewhere in the back of my head. They always want something. The continent of my forefathers. Anyway, so we did not really have much problem with them. We see them there, we just try to avoid when they start seeing them going around with these Nigerians. Most of the time it's known by the Nigerians, sorry, but it's mostly very few Guyanese, because Guyanese mostly stick by themselves. Maybe the Guyanese in the beginning also was doing on paperwork, but we just avoid. So some of them will tell you, are you sure you want to enter that? Prepare yourself. And you know what is sad? My people them is so anti-Africans, most of them, that some of them, their families, when they start going with Africans, their family reject them. The family put them aside. Some of them just take the risk. They will choose for the African man, and even though the family turn of them against them, of part of the family turn against them, they did not care. But you know what time it was sad? That same one they choose, turn around and leave them. You have to go lay back on your family here. These kids, most of the time, they just be mocked. Watch this African child. So we among ourselves in the Caribbean, where we say, watch at that African. 99% of the time, they mean it very negative. You understand? They do not mean it positive. So anytime they want to fight with you or whatever, they say, watch out, that African, do not know how to dress, do not know how to talk, do not know this. So anytime that is experienced, till up to today, I do still hear them. Sometimes I even correct them. I'll say, what is your problem? Okay. That is experience that we Caribbean have. Here, the part that I am with the Africans. I come to understand the experience the Caribbean in Britain have with the Africans is nearly, not 100%, but a kind of similar. Kind of similar to the one in the US, but not that major, because the Caribbeans there, you see, the way the Caribbeans look at themselves and the way the Americans look at themselves is totally two different way. We was more like we have our own hair. We do not perm our hair with on young age. I hear now they're having bleaching of their skin. That is not the way of our own mindset. You understand? So we was watching at America. I then was watching America as a big brother, and I have a big sister. And the motherland, the continent, we see that as our senior brother, our senior sister. So I definitely was watching at it. So, but certain things that Americans was trying to project to us, we wasn't taking. We wasn't taking their perming or their cheering them here on young age. We wasn't taking that rap music. We had our own music. We had our soca, we had our reggae, we had our salsa, we had our sumontuna. So we wasn't really taking American hip hop. We calling the women and bitches and hoes and dogs. We wasn't into that. So that music wasn't in my days. I think only now lately is penetrating, but it wasn't really doing us much. So certain things we pick, certain things we didn't pick, and sometimes they complain big brother on us, and we will look at them sometime and say, what is wrong with this one? Go and study. You understand? So certain things when they want to come down on the island, they come in to do some kind of show of even those to the Caribbean who go on to the island, come back, want to do some show. We used to correct them. Tell her, that behavior, you leave it in America. Do not bring it here. Okay, that is our experience and our experience with the Africans. But what is happening now? But you see what is sad also, even here in Europe, you get some African now to tell you, sorry, my sister, for what my brother is doing or whatever. The same majority of this kind of behavior, a lot of them do not even do it in Africa. Some of them is even now start telling us this is not good. Some of them, they like to apologize. You understand? Some of them even could tell you, no, small, pay attention to this or pay attention to that. That is what they was not doing in the past. But they seen how their own groups is projecting them. That is mainly the Nigerians, because that is majority of them who we have around. You have the others one, two, but we do not really associate much with those groups, and they do not really associate much with us. They do not really be in our environment. Coming to America. America, they are colonized, and their mental state is totally different than our own mental state. I understand the ill treatment they get was different than our own treatment. We was majority blacks. So we did not really have dogs and all of that haunting us. That is America. And America is busy with a self-destruction out of the world. Do you know I just be watching at them? I will ask, what is wrong with them? I do not know what is wrong with the black race in America, of the Afro Americans of the FBA. I do not know what is wrong with them. It's just like one spirit just fly over that particular group. Yeah? Let's be straight. Caribbean have no crimes also we did not know before. Yeah? The black among themselves in England also have crimes we did not know before. You understand? But if you sit down and watch, where is it mainly coming from? You understand? You see Americans, I will see men, black American men, is bashing their women. Bashing their women. They see them as useless. They do not want high value men. They are too fat. They are too this. They are too that. They will even advise their men, go look for wives in Philippines. Go look for their wives here. Go look for their wife there. They want submissive wife and all of that. Pay attention good what they're saying there. Pay attention good what they're saying. You have to pay attention where are they sending them. They are busy with colorism, my dear. They are busy with colorism. You understand? I never hear them tell them, go to Africa, you will get some submissive wives. They say that the color they're looking for. You understand? That's not the color. They are busy on colorism. They are calling it all kind of things. Their own followers see who they are focusing on. So they have an issue there on the colorism. I thought the colorism in the Caribbean is bad. Try America. They despise nearly everything that is black. They despise their hair. Hmm? They hate it with passion. Huh? They do not have enough money to go fix their nose, otherwise they will do that. It's only now they start appreciating their lips, and now they are really starting to appreciate their behind as supposed to appreciate it because of the Kardashians. The Kardashian propagated for them now. Made with propaganda for them, so now they appreciate more. You understand? You know what is lately there? They will tell you they have skin treatment for the black people. Huh, that one. The nice famous YouTubers and whatever, black famous YouTubers, African famous YouTuber, they are telling you, watch out, skin cream here, oh, this one is to take off your dead skin. This one's refreshing. Even big famous pastor, TD Jakes let to know. Black people have nappy hair. Everybody knows it's an insult. Watch out his own daughters. That one also is even propagating. This cream is good for your skin. But you know what's coming in all of these creams they're propagating that is good for your skin and it's taking off the dead skin? When you watch at the result, they're getting fairer and fairer. They're getting fairer than fairer. So what are they propagating? Are they propagating your skin have to become fairer and take off the dead skin, your black skin, what you have? Pay attention well to these type of words they are using. And that even show me big pastor's daughter telling you use these creams to take off dead skin. They are turning fairer and fairer. One call it bleaching, other one call it toning, other one calling it take off dead skin. What are the pastors and daughters is saying? That God make mistake. Because it's not only that alone. They put European hair on their head also. So what are they saying? God make mistake along the way. Coming from pastors and daughters. That's another topic. That's the issue they're having. Then they have other one will tell you, do not give birth to black men. Then you do not give birth to black men, no? Because what the black man is going to other races and calling their own women, all kind of things. So that one is propagating. Do not give birth to black men. If you are pregnant and you know you are pregnant with a male, abort. Get rid of it. That is the other group. Then you have the Tariq Nasheed. That one is propagating against Caribbeans and against Africans on the motherland. Do not break your head when he said they are my brothers, they are my sisters. My dear. Some people talk every side of their mouth, don't you know? But you see what happened? Tariq saw the pain in the society. He see the problem they was being confronted with. And he know a lot of people is having issues with the Africans who's marrying to these girls, which I told you also happen in Europe. They will dump them, put them aside, use them for whatever they wanted to use them for, put them aside. They will see these, especially mainly, not all, but mainly Nigerians getting scholarship, they're achieving. Maybe it have others that even achieve more than them, but white supremacy is pushing the Nigerians in their face. Watch how they are doing better than you. Watch how they had a different style than you, and they're doing better than you. So that one is being pushed in their face daily. They were even pushing their face. What even the Caribbeans is doing better than you. So they are being confronted with that. They're being confronted also, but you have to talk the truth. How a lot of these Africans also is behaving very arrogant. They also is not showing really much respect. They're seeing how their women them is being used and dumped in the name of documents, and you have to tackle all of these issues. And also is seen how the Somalians, Eritreans, and Ethiopians is coming there, is not mingling with them, and is not calling them, do not consider themselves Africans, do not really want to associate with them, and they see that group of Africans in their own eyes, in the Americans already who confused with color, they see in their own eyes they are more beautiful Africans than the other Africans. And they also have seen a lot of bleaching of these Nigerians, particularly Nigerians. You understand? They see a lot of them as westernized, more westernized than themselves. And they see that these people are miscoming. They partly sold them. That is a pain from America, especially the Black Americans. They see these as a group who sold them, and this is the same group who's coming to profit of their sweat. That is their mindset. Correct or not correct is so they are seeing it. You see, when they say they're fighting the fight and they even fight for the Americans, the Africans, and they're turning their back now, it's because they have the mindset when they are doing the fighting and all of that, the Africans is not joining. The Africans is not joining them. You understand? So they see they have a lot of problems with the Africans there, and Tariq, no, a lot of blacks having those kind of similar problem. So from there, that when he come out mentioning this type of problem, he grow very huge, because a lot of Black Americans have those kind of pains that they are being confronted with daily. They are seeing that people from the Caribbean, like Rihanna and this Minaj girl. They see now they come from the Caribbean, watch how famous they became, and we serve here in America. You see they're coming and reaping what they did not sow. I even do not even break my head with those people with the type of music. So they're seeing others is coming and making it. And on the other side, when they have their history that's going to be told and they're putting it in films, and they're not taking local Africans, local Americans to play their own history, they will take Africans to play the history of Americans. Um, that one is a programmed. That one is on purpose. The movie maker is doing it on purpose. That is to more divide and conquer. The African, in this case, most times is Nigerian. The other case was a Kenyan. They take the role, they play the role, but there was complaining the Nigerians do